welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV from a very special place and the very special occasion celebrating Ramadan, which is one of the 12 Arabic months. It is a month which is venerated in the Islamic religion, and it is distinguished from the other months by a number of characteristics and virtues. Allah has made fasting this month the fourth pillar of Islam, and God also revealed the Quran in this month. To be speaking more about the virtues and the characteristics of Ramadan from a very special place in front of the madrasa of Sultan Hassan and Al-Rifai Mosque, I'm honored to be having with me today on Nile Cruise Dr. Mohamed Al-Araby, professor at Al-Azhar University and the member of the World Association for Al-Azhar Graduates. Dr. Mohamed, thank you very much for being with us today, and the happy Ramadan.
Thank you too.
Dr. Mohamed, a very good day, and it's a pleasure to have you in today's episode of Nile Cruise.
You too.
Sir, from time to time, Allah blesses us with some time that refreshes our minds and, of course, our souls. How should we consider that and utilize this opportunity or these opportunities?
In the name of Allah the Merciful, praise be to Allah, the Lord of Al-Alameen. Peace and blessings be upon the Prophet Muhammad, his family, his companions, his wives, mothers of all the believers. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who had created all mankind, all the universe, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best amongst Allah's creation and the leader of the peace. I pay my congratulations to all Egyptian people because of these days that Allah had bestowed with, which are days of Ramadan. We all know that Ramadan is the greatest month amongst these months of the year. Allah had mentioned this year frankly in the Holy Book. Allah had spoken about these 12 months in an included verse when He had said in the repentance Surah At-Tawbah, إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا. The amount of months with God are 12 months. But He hadn't spoken about any of these months except Ramadan. Allah had spoken about Ramadan frankly in Al-Baqarah Surah or the Cow Surah when He had spoken about this pillar of fasting. After He had spoken about this fasting, He had spoken about this great month frankly when He had said شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Ramadan is a month that Allah had revealed the Holy Book in it as a guidance and as a guidance for all mankind and a clear proof for guidance. So anyone sees this month must fast these days of Ramadan. Allah also had emphasized that Ramadan had distinguished amongst these months with the Holy Book. The Holy Book that Allah had revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and especially spoke about this book in this month as the last verse that I spoke about in the Cow Surah or in Al-Baqarah Surah. But we must stand and contemplate these verses that Allah spoken about these pillars in it, especially fasting. We find that any pillar that Allah spoke about, He made combining between pillars and manners, because Allah doesn't accept your pillar without your manner. So we must deal with these manners in all these pillars, in your house, in your street, in your work, in all your life. Allah had given us many examples to these pillars and manners in the Holy Book. If we take this pillar, fasting, as example, we find that Allah had combined between pillars and manners in this verse when He had spoken to all mankind, not to the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, when he had said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. One may ask why Allah had prescribed this pillar, this fasting upon our ummah. We find that Allah had answered this question when he had said, "Oh, you believe, Allah had prescribed this pillar upon you as it was prescribed upon this previous ummah, this previous nation before you, in order to be pious." So this verse is a clear proof that we must follow our pillars with these great manners.
So what about the importance of Ramadan for the bodies, for the minds, for the souls of the Muslims during the month of Ramadan as well?
Many benefits in fasting that we can gain in this month, and we can make a timetable after this month. One of these benefits, not to abstain from drinking or food in these days only, but also to feel with the poor and needy people. One day, one asked one of the imams before why Allah had prescribed this fasting. So he answered this question to feel with the poor people and the needy people. Allah had made a limit right in our money, in our wealth, especially in the rich people wealth, to the poor people, the needy people. Allah had emphasized this right when He had said, وَفِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. In their wealth, there is a limit right to the needy people, to the poor people. But the zakah must follow the fasting. So we must feel with poor people, the needy people, not just in this month, but all the year. So we can divide this zakah into two sections. The first section, the voluntary zakah, which we can call upon it sadaqah. Allah had spoken about sadaqat in many verses in the Holy Book, about 27 verses in the Holy Book, and had spoken about obligatory zakah, which we paid through fasting or at the end of Ramadan, and also we can pay this zakah at the end of the year. Allah had spoken about this section of zakah in 30 verses in the Holy Book, and had also combined between zakah and money when He had addressed the Prophet Mohamed sallallahu alaihi wasallam, خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها. One may ask why Allah prescribed zakah or sadaqah upon our ummah. So Allah answered this question in order to purify our money, in order to purify ourselves. We also must deal with the other people. We find many problems in our houses, in our works, in our streets, between our neighbors, because we don't deal with others in these manners that Allah had addressed or had ordered us to deal with the others with these manners. So we must take this month, these days, take these benefits in these days, such as in dealing with others, such as in spreading forgiveness between all others. We find many obstacles, many problems, many disputes between the father and his sons, the mothers and her daughters, between two couples. How can we spread forgiveness in order not to be abstain ourselves from drink or food, and called upon ourselves that we are applied this pillar that Allah had ordered us? Fasting is a general meaning that we must understand, and we must also teach our sons, our daughters, our students in schools and universities that there is a spiritual meaning to this pillar that Allah had ordered us to do, and distinguished also this ummah amongst these 70 ummah that Allah had created before, because Allah had created 70 ummah. We are the last of these 70 ummahs, but Allah had distinguished this ummah with many aspects. One of these aspects is fasting.
Sir, what is the role of intention in gaining the rewards of the blessed, or of course the niyyah, intention, niyyah, in gaining the reward of the blessed month of Ramadan, and how can we as Muslims purify our intentions?
How can we as Muslims purify our intentions, or purify our hearts, purify our souls through these days, or through this pillar, which is fasting? We must know that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had spoken to his companions, his nation, to all mankind, because he is a prophet to all mankind, not to limit people in a specific place or a time. Allah had emphasized that and addressed us with this fact when he had said to the Prophet, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We hadn't sent you but as a mercy to all mankind, not to your companions, wives, nation. So how can we purify our niyyah, purify our hearts, purify our souls? Through following up the curriculum of the Prophet Muhammad, as his companions had followed his curriculum from the first day of Ramadan till the last day of Ramadan. We must purify our hearts, our souls, by performing prayers. We find many questions, especially in Ramadan. One may say, I can't wake up early and perform my prayers, so I sleep all the day, and wake up before the calming or the invocation of Allah. Will Allah accept my fasting? We answer him, Allah may accept this fast, but you must work hard and wake up early to perform your prayers, to perform your dealing with others, to perform your work, because fasting is not a lazy pillar. It doesn't mean that you be a lazy person amongst these 30 days of this month. You must work hard in this month, because Ramadan is the month of victory, month of work hard. We find these factors in many aspects in the companion's life, in the Prophet life, also in the Egyptian life. When we speak about the Battle of Badr, the conquest of Mecca, the 10th of Ramadan, we find these days, these great days, these victories had established in these days of Ramadan. So we must perform our prayers, we must work hard in these days, we must also feel with the others, especially needy people and poor people, but we can't forget our dealing, especially with our families. The great problem that many people ask us about, these problems in their houses. How can we perform, how can we make solutions to these problems? By following up the curriculum of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, especially in his house, by how can he deal with his wives, how can his companions dealt also with their companions.
For every Muslim, Muslims want to be better every year in Ramadan. How can they have their sins forgiven from last Ramadan to this one?
We find many activities in Ramadan, especially in Ramadan. After Ramadan, we can't see these activities. In Ramadan, Allah multiplies all our deeds. all prayer that you pray, perform in these days, Allah multiplies into 70 times. Any sadaqah or any zakah in these days, Allah will multiply into 70 times all your deeds in these months. So many people try to gain these occasions this month in multiplying their deeds. But after Ramadan, we find our mosques are empty from prayers from people. We hear bad speakings between people. How can we make all year as Ramadan? How can we deal in our year as we had dealt before in Ramadan? We also must consider this verse that Allah had addressed us and addressed all mankind when He had said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah hadn't addressed us only, but Allah had addressed both jinn and mankind and had clarified this mission that Allah had created them for, which is worshipping Allah only. I worship Allah in Ramadan and in any month of the year. So I must contemplate that Allah looks to me in any time, in any place, in any dealing, in any pillar that I do. I think if we contemplate this fact, we will make all years as Ramadan, and we will gain many benefits. We will multiply our deeds as Allah multiplied these deeds in Ramadan.
Dr. Mohamed Araby, we thank you so much, sir, for joining us in today's episode of Nile Cruise. Professor at Al-Azhar University and a member of the World Association for Al-Azhar Graduates. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you
joining
too.
us. Dear viewers, this was this segment of Nile Cruise. Stay with us, for we have more to come up here on Nile Cruise.